Welcome back to more Onimusha. Haha! Fire! I did that for a very specific reason too. As soon as Sammy gets up the ladder. I mentioned this last video. I think this is really cool because we're basically in another game area, even though it's in the same room. And you can still do that, suck up magic from there. That is not the level of continuity I would expect a game of this era to have. Yep, I'm equipping my beast sword again because I figured I was going to need it. And I will. But I'm going to need the wind sword for a bit. Fuck you! Fuck you! I'm out. So coming in here, there are these dudes I can't stand, and there's an archer. I had to run through this a couple of times. And we will be getting a lot of these assholes. Quite a few anyways. Come on. There you go. Yeah, I'm never playing this game without this sword again. That's just not a thing that's happening. So as you can see, we've got this door here, so we need the Thunder Sword in order to open it. I call it Blue Thunder, because why not? This is an optional area. You don't have to come in here, but you will get something nice if you do. In order to do that, we need to perform a Resident Evil style puzzle. I feel like this is a pretty odd thing to exist in this castle. Unless these things are really rare at this time period, which they could be. That is our gun. And since we've been finding bullets all over the place, I feel like they can't be that rare. That gun is going to play a big part in the next boss fight, which will be next video. We're actually going to have 3 bosses next video, which is insane. They definitely didn't plan out their boss encounters very well. But we're out of there. Fuck you. Ain't nobody got time for you. And apparently I got that herb from that box, but I didn't remember doing that. I actually went back to check. And it was gone, so obviously I got it. Out of my face. You too. Hate them soul suckers. What I would normally do here is go back into that big door, go back to the save room, refill my magic, which is what I should have done because I'm low on wind magic. Ah, great, these things again. At least they didn't have time to sprout the tentacle. That's the one I hate the most. No, I am not a fan of hentai. So I hate those things. More so that they're just time consuming to deal with. So last video we picked up this decorative sword, and now we get to use it. As soon as I find it. There we go. Seems like an odd way to open a door. I know it's a video game, but after playing so many of these games between Onimusha, Resident Evil, this gets bizarre after a while. At least in Silent Hill, there's paranormal stuff going on, so I can kind of live with it. The triangle attack with the sword is a lot more powerful. That's why I've defaulted to using it. Come on. Die now. Refilling my wind magic would have been good, and if you're not using the unlockable sword, then that's definitely a route I would go with. You're also going to need to upgrade the orb for this thing to max. there will be a door later that requires a max level wind orb. At this point in the game, you should have pretty much everything maxed out. If not, you're doing something wrong. More reading enjoyment, I suppose? I have not given a fuck about the journals in this game. And for all I know, they could be well written. I like the ones in the Resident Evil series. And to think I used to dread these things. They are not fun to fight with normal weapons. I don't care what weapon you use, they're not fun. Well, actually, if you have enough distance, Kaede's throwing weapons, you die. Those are actually pretty fun to use against those big dudes. We will see that later on, I think, in this video. With these camera angles, I can't see when an enemy's coming up, although I see the sword now. And he's dead. Die. And now we get another magic tool. One more of each to pick up. And the next health jewel is actually really close. And we're going to get the last magic jewel in this video too, I believe. We definitely will, which means we will have a full set of jewels. Just die. I hate that they can hit you through this banister, and it's really hard to hit them. Some of these enemies take a lot of patience. And I don't mean the Guns N' Roses song. I love the sound of wind in the background. Just this kind of ominous wind swirling sound effect. It plays in a few sections in this video. And in the next video as well. And I like that they don't play music over it. I realize I'm talking over it here, but there's also fighting going on. I've always liked that sound. I've always found it very foreboding. I loved it in Resident Evil 2 and 3. When they remade those games, they took that out, and it was really disappointing. Then again, the people running Resident Evil don't really know how to give a game personality anymore. You can like the games all you want, but they still don't have any personality. Well, they probably do. It's just a very modern personality. It's not... I love this camera angle here. I'm hoping to make that the thumbnail for this video, but no guarantee for that. I think it's really cool. Just the personality those games have now I don't like. It's not foreboding, it's not interesting or anything like that. But I'm playing a game I like, so I'm not going to focus on games that I'm not that into. I say that I don't hate those games if they were their own original games. They're alright, I guess. I had my fun with them. But since they called themselves Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, I'm going to have strong opinions of those games because the OGs are two of my favorite games of all time. Alright, another one of these guys. You would want to use magic against those guys if you can help it. You should have enough magic to get through this area until we get to another magic refill, but there are a lot of them, and if you plan on running around to grind, at least wait till you get to another magic fountain so you have a place to refill your magic, then grind. I did miss a door before coming into this room that has bullets and a map, but going in there would spawn more enemies outside and I didn't want to deal with it. Damn shame too, because I run out of bullets, but I have enough. I used the magic attack there because I couldn't see where my character was facing. My goal was to run from them. And that's why I stopped and blocked. And now we out of here. This is the most running from enemies I've ever done in an Onimusha game. I swear there's a herb in here somewhere, but I could not find it. I won't end up needing it, thankfully. So there's something else cool I'm going to show in a moment, but first I want to take out this guy. Come on. All right. Fortunately, there's only 2 of them in here. He's a crispy critter. So now I can take a shortcut. I like that camera angle. And there's a dude over there. I'm trying to bait him over here. Come on. And I have to come to this camera angle to do it. There we go. Time for you to take a bath. Or how about a nice swim? I don't know. That's really cool you can do that. That's one of 2 moments like that in this game, which is pretty awesome. This waterfall, when I first played this game back in 2001, I thought looked amazing. I know by today's standards, it's nothing. We're in the PS5 generation now. But for its time, I thought it looked really good. I think this is easily the hardest of these puzzles. Although we're going to get another one next video that's annoying too. And for our efforts, we get the great armor. It's great! I assume it's an upgrade anyway, so we're going to roll with it. This was my first ever PS2 game. So this was the first time I got to see a game that wasn't all blocky looking and was reasonably smoothed out. 3 and 6 is the solution to this one. And this will give Sammy the final magic jewel. It's beautiful! And as you can see, there is a soul fountain here, so you can refill your magic, or a magic font, whatever the hell it is. There is also a medicine. Nice. And a save point, which I did take the time to upgrade any arrows or bullets or anything like that I had, which will be very important to do. You want the best bullets you can get going into this next encounter Samanosuke is going to have. And if you've forgotten what we're trying to do, we are still trying to find a way past that barrier so that we can get into that door to the demon realm. And in order to do that, we need this great bow. And introduce a new enemy, these crab things. They're actually not too bad. Crab people, crab people. They can be a little annoying. They can actually get their wiggle on pretty well. And I'm going to deal with them as little as possible. That is a really weird transition. I realize they're trying to tie in what Kaede is doing. I was going to go through the door, but there's more of these things, which are nice to have. I will start using them next video. But that's a really weird transition to have. The last time, Samanosuke was actually incapacitated. I guess I'm glad he's not this time. It's just a strange way of transitioning between his and her campaigns, I guess I'll call them, for lack of a better word. Perspectives. More reading goodness. I would almost rather play as each of the different characters in their own separate campaigns, but this game is so short, I'm sure they didn't have enough ideas for a solo campaign for her. Damn shame, because I do like her. I wish if she was going to get this much playtime, they gave her an upgrade system similar to Sammy. Definitely pick up that healing item with her, it can be really useful. And avoid you having to use souls to upgrade the herbs to medicines. If you just use the herbs with her, at least they do fill a fair percentage of her health bar without wasting a medicine. I'd fill her health bar, oh yeah. I am of course trying to run from everything again. She has a flip attack that I don't know how to do. A friend of mine on Discord was trying to tell me how to do it. Where she can flip over an enemy, turn around, and stab them with a critical hit. Which is pretty sweet. I couldn't figure out a way to run from these guys. Since I took down that bridge, I didn't have a shortcut to get away from these things. So I had to get that one out of the way. I think I told the story on a previous video, but when I played this game for the first time, I was also playing Silent Hill 1 for the first time, and it was amazing the difference in graphical quality. I love both games, but this obviously being a newer generation game, it was interesting, the stark contrast. Again, more enemies I didn't think I could run from. I like that she does get a few of her own unique areas. And here's where I start to use her throwing dagger things. As you can hear, there's a big dude over there. We don't want to fuck with him, especially as Kaede. If he gets too close to her, he's going to fuck her up. That is no bueno. I don't know how to say no good in Japanese, or I would have done that. And there are some arrows Sammy can upgrade later. They upgrade to fire arrows. I can't remember if I've showed those off yet, but you'll see them at some point. I'm reasonably certain. And there's a save point. I will use that in a bit. Let's go up here. There's no real reason to come up here, but if you're solving these puzzles on your own, instead of looking at your old playthrough, then you might want that. I think there's a map up here as well, but I don't really care about it. But that does give us a little more time to play as Kaede, and she is kind of cute, so I don't mind seeing more of her. And she seems like a reasonably strong female character without having to be political about it, which is nice. We don't get that these days. And now that she has a magical weapon, she can actually take out these demons. She could before, but it really didn't make any sense since she had no special power. Once we got this sacred dagger, or whatever the hell it was we picked up, it makes a lot more sense that she can take them out. Alright, I thought this was in the last video, but it's in this one. This is the other one of these that I found kind of tough to solve. I still think it's not as bad as the other one, where we got the great armor, but that still took me a little bit. Fortunately, I had the solutions written down. But I sat there for a good amount of time trying. Yeah, I'm not messing with any of you. No, get down the ladder. I don't want to play with them at all. And in case you're wondering, those fluorites are just items that unlock a minigame. You have to collect them all. The one I can remember picking up in this LP, which was in this video, was an accident. I didn't actually mean to pick it up. So this is another Resident Evil style puzzle. My God, we're locked in! Whatever will we do? It's the wooden and golden emblem puzzle from Remake all over again. Now, Resident Evil Remake, that's a good remake. It's not perfect, but it's still really good. I would like to have had some color in that game. And there were a couple cut areas I wish existed in there, and I wish there was more light in that game. But the Jill Valentine naked mod I have for that game, chef's kiss. Very nice. And go ahead and grab that. Speaking of grabbing, there's a lot of things on Ki-80 I'd like to grab. Oh yeah. I have not had the opportunities to be a perv as much in my playthroughs of late. So it's nice to go back to that every now and again. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time with more Onimusha.